and neighbors of Tchefuncte Harbour Townhomes. I'm Vicki Morvat, and this is Vince Liuzza.
Hello.
And we have been working with the Impact Committee to talk about painting the buildings. So Vince, are we moving forward?
We certainly are. We're moving forward with these preliminary and revised proposals. The Impact Committee spent a lot of time researching, talking to homeowners, talking to professionals, and put our first proposal together that we introduced to the community at the town hall meetings about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. We've got great owner feedback, overwhelming positive feedback, some really good, hard, thought out questions that made us on the committee go back to work, answer these questions better, do more research. Now we're at the point of having a revised proposal that we are e-blasting out to all homeowners and asking for even more feedback. So we're excited.
So when we have responses from this email and the board of directors sees that we have a clear majority who want this project to move forward, then the board of directors will take responsibility for this, and they will be assembling a new committee, with one which will have members from each building on it, and ultimately they will do a poll, an official poll of what do the owners want, and it would ultimately end in a vote by the entire community. But it is nice to hear all the positive comments, and it does seem that people feel that something has to be done.
Certainly, and the feedback, the majority of the feedback from these town hall meetings that we've had is we need to get the buildings painted. So now it's a question of how do we do that in a very methodical, clear design theme, so that we're not just painting one building here, painting another building. We're doing this professionally with a big picture in mind.
Well, Vince, you've done an awesome job on the PDFs.
Thank
you. And tell us about it. So on the PDFs, are these pictures exactly what we have on the end product?
You know, it's not. We engaged a design firm, Maria Barcelona Interiors. She then engaged a graphic artist to do these renderings for us, to give us an idea of what these buildings could look like and how great they could look with some modern colors, with some design elements which help move us to a more upscale type of community, as well as giving depth to the buildings. Some examples here. They redesigned the logo for us and took the sailboat out, since most of us are power boaters, and utilized the lighthouse, which is an iconic figure for us here. But as you'll see when you look closer on your PDF, the rock walls here, as well as the rock walls on the buildings, are still rock in these renderings. They're painted. Right now in our proposal we have to stucco them, so it's a little more modern, cleaner look, gets rid of the dated, we call it the Popeyes lava rock look.
Okay.
So those are just two examples.
Or the Brady Bunch from
Brady
the 70s.
Bunch, that's right. So no, nothing of this is permanent. Like I said, these are all, now we're on our second revision, but we certainly didn't want to spend money going and redoing and revising these renderings while we're still in these.
Until we know what the community
Exactly.
wants. Well, Vince, each of the four buildings are really quite different. That we have, for instance, here on the south building, the third floor balcony has a setback, and you could do an architectural element such as this. But on the north building, we don't have a setback, and so you'd be applying shutters flush against the window, creating a trap for spiders to live there, and we couldn't get behind them to clean them. So each building is different. Do you have thoughts on that?
And those are some great points that were brought up by homeowners at our meeting. And Cliff Seibert, who's on the board of directors and on the impact committee, who is volunteering to take his 40 years of construction experience and manage this process for us, or this program, if it's approved by the homeowners. He brought up some of those points. And so what we've now decided to propose in this initiative is each building, or let me just step back a moment, if the homeowners approve more than just painting, it's painting and some design elements. As you'll see on the spreadsheet on the PDF, it breaks that down for you.
Well, Vince, while you're speaking about design elements, I just might add what many people have been saying, is that while putting a new color on the building would certainly give it at least fresh paint, but we have quite a gem here. We have a very rare location, and as real estate agents, we know location. So we have one of the rare opportunities for people to live on the Tchefuncte River. And what with all of the interior upgrades that many owners have done to the insides of their units, we really are becoming more of an upscale community. least we have the potential
That's a
for
great
that.
point.
And to just put a slap of paint, well, I'm sorry, it would be professionally done, it would be
Right.
prepped,
But
it would be 2 coats and such.
Your
but-
point is well taken.
But to just change the color, are we missing out on
Sure.
some of our
And
potential?
for nominal dollar amount more, we can add those upscale architectural features that give us so much more curb appeal and help add value to these buildings. So as we mentioned that homeowners were pointing out, as you said, each building is very different and we have different peaks and different designs. So it is the recommendation of the impact committee that the new committee the board would form would then look at the budget that is approved and ask for volunteers from all 4 buildings and meet with people from all 4 buildings to decide how to place and where to place design elements tailor-made for those buildings. So, and I think that's a great idea.
Well, we're both real estate agents, and what impact do you think this would have on our values?
You know, it's gonna have an immediate impact, especially those who are trying to sell their units. Fresh coat of paint, this clubhouse here, we get rid of the red roof, have a modern welcoming entrance.
By the way, Bill, you were talking about to paint this roof. As we know, there's a question, that our attorneys certainly believe that all of the documents show that the homeowners association does own this land. It was indeed granted to the association in an act of donation. But in the meantime, some people question, why would we want to spend money on fixing this? Well, in the financials that you've provided, you show how, for instance, to paint the clubhouse roof, when divided by all of the owners, that comes out to $55 per person. And some people have said, for $55, I want the roof painted now, rather than waiting until we're finished with our lawyers, hopefully ultimately proving that it is ours.
And that's a great point. It's another a nominal fee, but it adds so much curb appeal and takes away from the dated look of this community. When I've brought prospects in here as a real estate agent who are interested in buying, they walk into the units, they look at the views from all 4 buildings, they love the water, they see it, and then they look at the exterior and they say, what's going on here? You know, they give us our typical answer, it looks like an army barracks or a fishing camp. And we're just a 1980s design community.
It's time.
And it is time, and that's the consensus, it is certainly time. But to your point, for the little bit of money on the clubhouse here, the front entrance, it helps curb appeal, and it gives us that bang and that pow. One thing that we would recommend is the first 2 things to be painted, first 3 things, if this initiative is approved, is the entrance, the clubhouse, and the south building. That's what the public sees, that'll help us get a bang for our dollar, and to get property values
Yes.
to rebound and stabilize.
In fact, I'll go so far as to say, if I was trying to sell a unit right now, I would vote for this proposal. I'd probably take my unit off the market until the painting and all, and hopefully we get the enhancements done too. And when that's done, then I'd put it back on and wait to see what kind of a return I get on my investment in this painting project.
Great. Well, Vicki, are there any other questions you think we need to, or
Yes,
topics to discuss?
We were talking about the financing because there might be an owner who wants to make their payments spread out over installments. And that's one thing where the board of directors would arrange financing for those who decide that they're not going to make one lump payment. This is one of the benefits of living in a community like this, a condo community, a townhome community, because instead of being like a subdivision where you own your own house and you're on your own to do your painting, you're on your own to do your own financing, the board of directors will work to secure that as a community, because that's what we do. Our documents say that we do things as a community upon the majority votes, and that's what we want to see is a clear majority. What do you want? What would you like to do? So, I guess.
That's it, we've been talking
Yes.
a while,
Yeah.
hope we've kept everyone's interest. And again, we thank you for taking the time to read this PDF or this email. Please give us your feedback, it's really important. What do you like about the proposals, what don't you like? Do you not want to do this, do you want to do this? And
Now the board sends out their official poll, please respond to that one, that's
Sure.
most important.
Absolutely. And you can either reply to your normal email or scroll down to the bottom of this page and click feedback, and then we'll get that. Everything is anonymous, and your opinion will remain private. Thank you so much.